All right, what's up? Scrambled Thoughts Podcast, episode 6. Chris and Austin, of course, as always. Playing Destiny 2 today. Uh, in the background, as always. Of course, as always, of course, as always. And we're going to be talking about, really,
Jobs.
whatever. Said what?
Jobs.
Jobs. Well, we're going to talk about jobs, past job experiences. After that, it doesn't really matter, though.
Yeah. Just
You guys are
trying
going to eat it up.
to just trying to
You're going
find
to
a
love it.
topic. Anything.
Uh,
Oh, fuck. Is there anything I can
so,
do here?
and I don't know for sure. Um, it's been a long time since I played Destiny 2. That's why I wasn't sure if we should where we should go at all, actually, because I don't know. There's also not a fucking map, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, I haven't even seen anything like to fight.
That's what I'm confused about.
Oh, there's got to be something here. It's like a base. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a legionary. Bitch. Hey, what was your first job, Austin?
My first job was Dollar Tree.
No, oh, really? That sucks.
Yeah. Um, you like my sweet ride, dude?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking cool.
I got it with Parker during a Halloween event.
Oh, nice.
Um,
What's this? What's this?
yeah, when I graduated, uh, my 18th birthday was a few months. It was like a month or two away from graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom told me that I could get a job at the Dollar Tree when I turned 18 because the Dollar Tree was right next to her job. And uh, for anyone who doesn't know, my mom's a hairdresser. And so she cut the manager of the Dollar Tree's hair all the time. Um, and was talking to her, and the manager said that I could have a job when I turned 18. Uh, which I was like, all right, cool, let's start making some money. Little did I know, on my 18th birth, on my 18th birthday, the day that I turned 18, I was in Dollar Tree handing in an application and starting my first shift. uh, and I hated that. That made me really upset. Um, that job fucking sucked, dude. I didn't like working at Dollar Tree at all.
Yeah, I think I worked there around the same time as you, or like
You
after.
worked there, I think, before or after I did,
I think it was after.
and it was the same exact one, and we had the same fucking manager, and she was shitty. she
Yeah,
um she was so mean, man.
she was really mean. I don't know what was up with
Like
her.
overbearingly mean, and like serious about the job. And I was like, dude, we work at Dollar Tree. I'm making 750 right now.
Yeah, it's like her life
Uh,
work.
like that shit was not cool. And then Ben was there. Ben worked there at the same time as me.
He worked there at the same time as I did too.
Yeah, he
He
was
was there
working
for a
there the
while.
longest out of all of us.
I don't know
Because
how he
Parker
did it,
worked there
man.
too.
Wait, did Parker work there?
Yeah, he worked there with me. When I went, I went and worked there the second time. As a part-time job while I was working at my other job.
Oh, that's what it was. I started like when you went there the second time.
Oh, okay. So the three of us were there. We just didn't have job
Shifts.
shifts together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you.
Dude, no one really did.
Um, Parker and I only got one once because Sandy needed two people to come in. Uh, because two people called out at the same time, and so she called me and Parker, which was a mistake. We never worked together again after that, and I'm pretty sure it was because we fucked it up.
Oh, did you guys just fuck around the whole time?
Yeah, we totally fucked around the whole time. I'm pretty sure I was talking to Parker on the intercom at once. um, but we weren't working cashier though, so it was okay because we were in the back. Uh, she wanted us to rearrange the supply room, like where they got all their shipments of stuff.
What?
And it was hot as fuck. It was like the middle of summer, and we had to wear pants. as a part of the uniform.
Yeah, that's bull. I hate that. Jobs that force you to
Yeah,
wear something when it's hot as shit.
it was really annoying, and it took a long ass time. And it was Dollar Tree, and we were kids, and we hated it. And so Parker and I would like go in the freezer, and we would like stand in the freezer, and all the drinks are in there, and we'd like open drinks and like have drinks and shit.
Dude, what?
Yeah, we would like drink like a soda or like a bottle of orange juice or something. Um, and Sandy like came in there one time while Parker had like just opened a Coke. She was like, "What are you guys doing in here?" And I was just like, "Oh man, it's just so hot, dude." And I was like walking towards her, like trying to block her view.
Oh my
It
god.
was pretty funny.
Did she find
That
out?
job was no, I don't think so. That job was so whack, man. When I went back to work as a part time, I quit because I told Sandy I didn't want to work cashier, and she agreed that I didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And then like as soon as I started, she was like, "I need you on cashier," and then it was cashier shifts from then out.
Yeah,
And
cashier is
so like,
awful. That's like
yeah,
the
dude,
worst
it's the
one.
worst because they put you up there all alone.
Yeah, you have to do like you have to stock like things
Yeah,
while
they put you up
also
there by
doing
yourself, and then they're like, you got to stock shelves. You have to stock the soda vending machine, which you have to take a cart from the front of the store, go all the way back to the back where the freezer is, and get drinks, and then bring them back up. It's just so much work,
for
and for
one
one
person.
person,
Yeah.
and the store to be full of customers didn't make any sense. But she was always like, "We can't spare hours," and I was like, "How, dude? How?"
I don't know, maybe because it's Dollar Tree. They don't make enough money.
What? Wendy's was your first job, right,
Yeah, yeah, Wendy's.
dude?
My manager was really serious too, or at least one of them was.
Oh, you had multiple.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there would be like different types of managers.
Oh, and like depending on like the day and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
food
like
industry managers are weird.
the main like store manager,
Like
she
the
was
owner, yeah.
yeah. I guess I mean this is skipping around a little bit, but I quit because I saw her at a Wendy's um at the beach,
Uh huh.
and it was the very last day of school. So I was like, "Oh, cool. I'm gonna hang out with my friends, go to the beach, have a
Uh
good
huh.
time." And she was getting on my case about not being at work. She's like, "Well, you need to work more often if you have all this free time to go." I'm like, "What?
Whoa,
Who are
what? So you
you?"
saw her out of work
Yeah.
at another Wendy's restaurant, and she was like, "Why aren't you at work?"
Yep.
Like, well, I don't know, bitch. Why was I on the schedule? Dude, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, tell me about it. I quit like the very next day. I was like, "That's
That's
bullshit.
funny. It would have
I'm
been
done
awesome
for."
if you were like right there in her face. You were just like, "Well, I'm not gonna be back anytime soon."
Yeah, she was scary,
Oh
man.
man,
She was real mean.
scary.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. That's a terrible work environment.
Yeah, there was this one dude named Chris though. He like didn't give a shit about anything.
To
I mean, he did, but like it wasn't like
an
an
extent,
intense thing.
yeah. Oh, I fought this guy before.
Oh,
This
where the
guy's
fuck are we
chump
going?
change,
Where are
bro.
we going? What happened to me? Why did I get teleported?
You're getting teleported? Where are
I
you?
did. I did get teleported. I'm not getting teleported anymore.
Wait, are you here? Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fighting this big ball thing.
Yeah, I think he picks you up and puts you in different places depending on who's doing the most damage to him.
Oh.
Oh, yep, here I go. Oh, you guys already killed him before I set my
Yeah.
thing up. It's okay. He probably didn't drop ass gear for anyone.
I got a key fragment.
We're in a really low. Earth is like the first place you go in this game.
Yeah, I played this game a little bit. I don't remember how far I
Yeah, it's
got.
hard for you to know though because they boosted your level. So you don't know where the fuck you were at. I don't know where I was either.
Yeah, I have like all the skills and shit unlocked.
Yeah, it's weird that they would do that, but I mean,
Well, they took away like my favorite kind of progression,
what?
which is like leveling up, unlocking things slowly.
That's how you start.
Yeah, I know, but that's not what they gave us though.
Oh no, yeah, I'm guessing for anyone that joins the game now, this is what it's like. immediately.
Well, I played a little bit. Um, like when it became free, I was like, oh, cool. Let me give this a try.
Uh,
Now the dog's going crazy.
like barking?
No, he's wilding out.
Wild.
He's just wilding. Oh, he's going for a walk. That's why.
Ooh,
Hey, did we do the survey mission? Is this it?
I don't know what a survey mission is.
Or is beneath the surface, location reach? Where do we go?
We're not on a mission or anything.
No, we have a mini mission thing. I picked it up.
Survey mission beneath the surfaces. Oh, it's right over here. Do you
Um,
see the pulsating arrow on the top of your minimap?
yeah.
That's where we're going.
Oh yeah, I found it. It's like a dot on when you pull up your thingy thing. Man, it must
The
be nice to
thingy
have
thing.
one of
Do
those,
you not
huh?
have a vehicle?
No, I don't.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
I might be able to give you one if I have an
'Cause in
extra.
this one, don't they make you like have to
It's a
like get
mission to get
lucky to
it.
get one? Oh.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. I forgot. That's how I didn't have one until like after I beat the fucking game.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's really ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, I forgot all about that actually. Well, I guess I'll just get off. Maybe you can ride it.
I can't.
Uh,
Um,
that
what,
one's really cool. It's my favorite.
what are we talking about? Jobs?
Jobs. You're talking about Wendy's and why your boss is scary though.
Oh yeah, she was just yell at everybody.
I hate that, dude. I hate managers that are like that. How long did you work there?
Uh, Around a year, maybe a little less, probably like 8 months.
Right.
But
And
it
then
was
you went to
11th
Dollar
grade.
Tree, right?
No, I didn't go to Dollar Tree till way after that.
Uh,
Yeah, I didn't have
I,
a
I
job for a
did.
while afterwards.
Yeah, I just went like afterwards,
Cause I finished
like next job.
I finished senior year, and then
Damn, I remember that. I remember having like seeing you at Wendy's.
yeah, I was in Wendy's till the end of 11th grade. It was
That's
nice though,
crazy.
cause you get half off. So I got like 2 meals, like two for the price of one. Fuck yeah. Where are we going, by the way?
I don't know. We got off track again. Oh wait, no, the mission is right up there.
Oh,
It's
shit,
at
let
the
me get back.
top of this.
How I remember the Warlock. I don't know if it's only in the first one, but being able to aim while flying.
No, it's not working for me. It might be a skill, but
Yeah, I
because I'm
thought
trying
it
to do it
was.
and it's not happening. Fuck, no, we're not going to the right place. Damn it.
Oh, what? Supposed to go up here?
Yeah, I can't get up there though. Oh, it's over there. Okay. Here we go. Food jobs are shitty, man.
Do you have
I
one?
don't. Yeah, Chipotle.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Chipotle.
Damn, dude.
Yeah,
That's pretty funny.
yeah, no, because you didn't work there very long.
um, no,
Or at
because
least
it
it
was the
didn't feel
fucking
very long.
worst. I worked there for a while, maybe like half a year, but I hated it and I left because I'll never work in the food industry again, dude. Honestly,
Yeah, it's awful.
it was like I thought it was gonna be okay because, well, I'm out of order with my jobs now, but that's okay. Um, because the job I had before that at Veltai, uh, was really bad. You know, it got like so fucking stressful and shitty there. And then Parker told me that Chipotle was a great place and that all the people that were working there with him were really good and cool. I was like, okay, you know, and I went in for the interview and I met the boss, Frank, and he was a super cool guy and pretty much gave me the job right away. He was like, I think you're cool. I like the way, you know, I like the energy that you're giving off,
You got
and hired
tattoos?
me. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, okay, I mean, cool. And he said, you know, he thought I would fit in with everybody pretty well, and that was important. I was like, okay, cool. You know, started the job, grill cook. stressful, very fucking stressful, because I couldn't keep up at first
Oh
until I
yeah,
learned, until I learned how to do everything.
being the cook is like,
Dude, the
I
time
think it's the
management that I
hardest
had to
one.
learn was
Yeah.
insane. It definitely made me like better, like as a person though, like
Hmm.
like the skills that it taught me with just life in general. Like being able to juggle multiple things at once is pretty sick. Are we going in here? What are you doing in here?
I don't know. I'm just fighting.
And and it was okay at first. Like the guy that was training me was really cool, and Parker worked there with me. And then after like 2 weeks, it started getting really weird, and then it started getting bad
Like,
because
how so?
fucking like I usually would work night shifts. They've always put me on night shifts, and there was one fucking manager who still to this day I'm not incredibly fond of. I got along with him really well, but when it came to working with him, it was a whole different story. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um, where he basically was like the definition of overachieving.
Fuck. Of
Did you
overachieving?
just die?
Yeah, I died.
Damn. Um, these guys are pretty strong, actually. Holy shit.
Yeah, I didn't know that when I
Um,
ran into him.
he at night, like when we were closing the store, it was either your job was done to perfection or you weren't going home, basically.
Ooh.
And so, like, dude, oh my god, we would be scheduled to like, I think the store would close at 11, or I mean at 10, and we'd be scheduled to 11:45,
Hmm.
and that is when you expect to get off work, right? That's when you think it's
Oh.
11:45, I'm clocking out, I'm going home. This motherfucker, dude. If so, obviously, if you finish cleaning your station and like putting everything away, you can go home
Hmm.
early because your shit's done. Dude, he would come and like inspect your grill, and he would like put on gloves and like touch it and make sure there wasn't like dust on it, fuck, like char,
Uh huh.
um, and shit like that. And it was just such a force, dude. Um, because I don't know if you know, but we would have to brick it like with a brick of like granite, I think, or some shit like that. That or like no, it wasn't granite. It definitely wasn't. But it was some kind of material that this like brick was made out of, and you like push it back and forth on the grill, and it cleans it basically. And he would like if any of that shit was left on the grill, like even a tiny bit, you had to do that, and then somehow he would find a way for you, even if like your shit was like exceptional to him, he would find something else for you to do that would make you have to stay at work longer.
What?
Dude, the first time I worked with him, I was at work till 3 in the morning.
That's ridiculous.
Yep, I was at work with him till 3 in the morning because him and I were in the fucking dish pit cleaning dishes. Because whoever was on dish duty that night didn't do it well enough, and it was up to me and him to fucking fix the guy's problems. And but like he kept me in there and was like, he was like, nah, dude, we're still not done. It's taking too long. I was like, dude, I don't know what's happening. I don't like this. you know, it was just it was not great, man.
That sounds like that job was his life. If he was there till
Yeah,
three in
bro,
the
like he
morning.
took it really fucking serious, man.
Hey, I'm
And
loading. I can't go this way.
really,
Yeah. I don't know what's
oh
going
yeah,
on.
you're stopped.
Oh, there we go.
Um, and like the other managers wanted, they wanted the place to look good too, but it was more like they would help you out. So like before the store was even closed, they would start like taking parts of your station down for you. Um, especially if the grill cook, because the grill cook has to do so much,
Hmm.
and so they would start like taking stuff down for you, like while you're still cooking food, and then they'll like clean up after you and stuff like that. But and those people, we would get out of work like the store would close, and then it'd be like 10:30, and we'd go home, and
Oh,
that shit was
that's nice.
great. So it just I don't know what it was with that guy, man, and that sucked because I think that was one of the things that started with like everyone starting to get pissed off because he would do it to a lot of people, like anyone that works shifts with him.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, seriously, the next day I would come in and I would trade off with the previous grill cook, David, and David was a pretty cool guy. And I would come in and like I would walk around the corner and he'd already be like looking in my direction and he would just give me that look like you're in for something and I'm like, dude, god damn.
Ugh.
And it was always about Nate. Fuck. It was always about Nate, who's the manager. And it's just about like him being on some kind of force shit, man. It was either him or this other guy, Nico, who was just pretty much a tool. Uh, and nobody liked that guy. And it just, yeah, Chipotle is something, man. But Nate definitely caused a lot of my stress there because I dreaded coming to work whenever I saw his name on the schedule with me.
Yeah,
Um,
that'll kill
because
it
I
right
just
there.
knew, yeah, because I just knew every time I was like, it's just going to be one of those nights. And then it's another thing where you know how unpredictable being in a restaurant is, and like the influx of customers changes on like honestly constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you didn't get to something on time, he would be like perplexed as to how you couldn't get to something on time after like a wave of 100 or so customers has like just gone through the door in the past hour.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, why didn't you get to this? And I'm like, dude, you were just out here like out here helping us like make food and keep the line like moving. How the fuck are you asking me how I didn't have enough time to do this shit? it was
Yeah.
it was ridiculous, man. And it was something that I had to talk to Frank to all the time, talk to him about, but he couldn't do anything about it because he couldn't get Nate to not be like that. And I was like, well, I'm sick of being at work past the time that I'm supposed to be at work, dude.
Yeah, you're supposed to get off at 11. You get home at
Yeah.
3.
And he started giving me morning shifts after that, which was cool of him. But then Chipotle themselves wanted to start a new thing called morning prep,
Uh,
where basically we were gonna have we came in earlier than everyone else, right? And
mm,
prepped all the vegetables and things needed to make guacs and salsas. Um, so that from our time being there till right before the next like prep crew came in, everything would be like good, and we would work for like 4 hours. We would do all the prep for 4 hours, and then the store would open, and we'd leave.
oh, what? That sounds cool.
It didn't work.
No.
No, it didn't work because they didn't organize it properly, and I didn't know prep, but they had some guy teach me prep who had only been working prep as long as I'd been working grill, but there was no one else there to teach because Parker said he didn't want to do morning prep, and I was like, okay. So I had to learn from this dude who wasn't a very good teacher, and so we didn't get shit done on time.
Mm,
Um, and I don't think it was really either of our faults because we were both inexperienced, and so that started stressing people out because we didn't have like stuff ready for people to eat sometimes. Um, like we'd have guac out and then they'd run out of guac and they'd need more and we'd be making it. And so they'd be fucked.
mm.
And that made Frank, our real boss, really fucking mad. And he took it out on the guy that was training me, unfortunately.
Oh.
Um, which I tried to not have that happen. I tried to explain that, like it was just a new thing for both of us. But he was really mad, so I think he had tunnel vision on him.
Mm.
Um, and then after that, that was only like a week after that had happened. He called him into the office. He called both of us in the office, and then told me to leave because the guy who was training me had like flipped out and was like, he was pissed off and Frank was pissed off, and so they were like getting into each other's like shit.
Yeah.
And so he told me to leave the office, and then I could just hear them like arguing basically, and I was like, dude, this is crazy.
God
Like
damn.
I had never heard Frank like get mad like at someone at work like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was only a week after that that he had blown up on Parker and yelled at him.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that happened.
yeah, no, dude. Parker quit because one day at work, it was that, like I said, it was 1 week. Um, Something happened. It was something because they finally got Parker to be on morning prep because they needed him, right?
Mm.
And I don't remember precisely, but fucking the morning prep, of course, was not going well like always, and they just things got heated and tense, I guess. And Parker was mad, and I mean, you get mad at work, and so you can't really help it. It takes over your body language,
Yeah, and then you're just
and
mad.
yeah, and everyone can tell.
Yeah.
And so Parker was pissed off, and so he was walking around the kitchen pissed off, doing his but still doing his job. But Frank didn't like his attitude, but also Frank was really stressed too, of course. And so Frank was like yelling at Parker. He was like, "Parker, do you have a fucking problem, bro? Because we can fucking settle it and talk about it right now." And
Whoa.
like loud as fuck, like the customers could hear him. And he, like I said, that Nico guy is like a tool and a douchebag. Well, Nico and Parker had a lot of problems at work.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
so Frank was like, "Dude, I'm not Nico. You're not gonna walk around here pissed off. I'm not like him. I'm not gonna let that shit slide." And so he told Parker to leave, and Parker left. And then, like, maybe not even an hour later, like, brought his uniform and shit back and just like threw them into the or no, I think he said he had them folded, and he went up to the front counter and laid them down on the counter and walked out and didn't say anything to anybody.
That's how I quit Wendy's. That's
Really,
funny.
it's pretty
Yeah.
savage to quit a job like that. I just never went back.
I mean, that's
Um,
sometimes even worse. I did that to Dollar Tree.
it wasn't. I mean, it technically wasn't like that. It was like I. It was. This was 1 week after Parker had left. I was already fed up with it. Like after Parker left, I was already like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this job without him here.
Hmm.
And then it really was. People were like, "Hey, how's Parker? Like, what's his deal?" Like, and I was just like, I was getting sick of that.
Yeah,
Um, because they knew we were best friends, but it's like, dude, he left the job, stay out of his business.
for real.
And and don't ask me because you want to fucking gossip. I hate that shit because I know that's what that another problem at that job was. Everybody gossiped, and so I never told anyone shit. But I never do at jobs because I mean, it's just gonna lead to problems.
Yeah, I don't talk to people at work. I didn't at
And
Target.
yeah, it's really fucking easy to avoid them. Then they just think you're a fucking dick, but it's like, whatever, bro. I'm here to make money.
Yeah, not be friends.
Yeah, like whatever. And so yeah, I got sick of that. And then one day, Parker was out of town. Um, and I was looking after his house for him while he was gone, like the house and like the dogs and shit.
Hmm.
And I had fallen asleep on the couch in the living room with my phone in my hand, playing Dokkan Legends or Dokkan Battle on my phone. Damn, Dokkan Legends! I wish that existed. Um, and my phone, like the screen didn't shut off, so it died while I was in my sleep. And I had woken up before like I was supposed to go to work in that morning, and I put my phone on the charger. Well, while my phone was on the charger, I fell back asleep. And then I woke up and I had a bunch of missed calls from Nico, the manager that was working that day.
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh fuck, dude!" And I called him back, and my phone had like 10% charge, I think. And I called him. I was like, "Hey, dude, man, like I'm really sorry. Fucking overslept. I'm on my way right now. I'll be there soon." And he was like, "Oh, it's cool, man. As long as you're okay, just make sure you get here. Like we really need you." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, no problem." Uh, my tire was flat from this was after Magfest, and I don't remember if you remember, but my car had gotten hit while we were at Magfest,
Oh yeah.
and they fucked my tire up, and so I had to put a spare on. And with a spare tire, you can't ride on the interstate because you're only allowed to go a certain speed with a
Yeah, it's
spare.
like 45, I think,
So
or
I had to
50.
take a back route to get to Chipotle, so I had to use maps. So while mapping my way there to work, my phone died, and I immediately, like as soon as it died, I didn't know how to get to Chipotle, and so I just turned around and went back home, and then I blocked all their numbers when my phone charged again.
That's funny,
And
man.
yeah. And I felt really bad because Frank and David were all like those two guys were like the only two guys there that I really thought were cool,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt bad for boning them like that. But I saw Frank recently at a show. Well, not too recent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
um, it's actually the last show I went to before COVID. Was a show at a bar called Elevation 27, and Frank was there. And Parker and I both went actually, and it was the first time either of us had seen Frank since we had worked at Chipotle, and it had been like maybe a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we saw him, and he gave us a big smile and walked over, and Parker gave him a hug, and he shook my hand, and we talked about it, and he said, I think what was really happening was that the job was just getting to me, and I was an asshole, and I think it was getting to you guys, and it was stressing you guys out. And then he said everything was pretty much good, and then we just hung out at the show and had a good time.
That's cool, man.
So I know that everything between him and I is cool. I still hit him up every now and then on Instagram, see how he's doing. He's having a baby now.
Oh shit.
Um, he's moving I think he just moved actually to like Colorado or something like that to live with his
Nice.
girlfriend. Yeah, that was pretty sick. And he's starting a tattoos apprenticeship. That was when we met him. He was not working at Chipotle anymore, and he was the GM. He quit after not long after I left. He
Oh
was like,
wow.
he said it was just too much.
Yeah,
That job
those
Chipotle is
jobs are
terrible, dude.
stressful. Yeah, they're like
Yeah,
doing food stuff. It's all so fast paced, and people get mad at you all day, and then you have to deal with
yeah,
your bosses that are mad at you, and then it's
yeah.
like it's just a
It was
constant
not. It was
struggle.
not great. That job was it was something though. But yeah, that was probably one of the crazier jobs. We did some crazy stuff on the job there. The guy who trained me, um, sometimes he would go to 7-Eleven and buy like beers on his break and come back and be like, "Hey, meet me in the parking lot." Um, because we would work, they would have like co-grill shifts where we would both work the grill to help each other get through it faster.
Hmm.
Which I don't know why they didn't have all the fucking time. It was
Yeah.
literally amazing. We would finish our job. We would definitely be out of there like on time or before time, like after close, because it was so good.
Wow.
Especially with the two of us, because once I picked up grill, mostly like with almost anything. Um, Once I spent some time with it, I was pretty good, you know,
Hmm.
and not to brag or anything. um, but him and I were both really good at grill um, at one point, and so we would work together, and it would dude, the night would be a fucking breeze, man. We worked on the Halloween burrito deal that they do, where if you come in a costume, you get like $1 burrito or whatever.
Oh, what? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, dude, if you come in on a Halloween in a costume, you get. I don't know if it's still the same. They've changed it a few times. It was like $1 burrito or like a free burrito or something. And him and I but we were like, dude, David and Austin are working that shift.
Yeah.
And we did, and before it happened, David and I were talking. We were like, dude, this shit's gonna fucking suck, bro. And then we went in and we made it so easy. But let me tell you, bro, that job still sucked so hard because I think we did that burrito special night with Nate. Um, and he was a dude. He was a fucking John. He's a John boy, bro. And um, just I don't know, man. For some reason, we just thought it was okay to drink sometimes because it would make it would make working so just easier. Because you're drunk,
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
and at the same time though, it made it harder because you would be drunk and you'd be working a little sloppy.
Hmm.
Um, but dude, I mean, yeah, that guy, they would just have fucking like Smirnoffs in his trunk, and we would just take large cups out of Chipotle and like take them to the back in the parking lot and fill them up and go back in and like drink them while we were working. Um, which is terrible, I'm not like happy to admit it. I just think it's fucking crazy that I was at that point with that job where I would do something like that. Um,
I mean, it's no different
But
than
yeah,
going baked. So,
I think it's a lot different.
eh, depends on
I
how drunk.
think, yeah, it depends on how drunk and it depends on how you handle your weed.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, cleaning bathrooms baked is awesome.
Yeah, it's really easy.
It makes it so much bearable. More bearable.
If if my eyes wouldn't get so bloodshot, I would definitely go into work smack nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because no one's there. You don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah, but
Hey, where are you, by the way?
Chipotle was a ride. I'm in the same area as you. I'm just kind of running around.
Oh, okay.
I'm like exploring. Like these buildings have they all have like holes in them. I'm climbing around in them. I'm coming over to you.
Wait, transmat? What is transmat?
That should
Oh,
be yeah. You figured it out.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Chipotle was wild, but Veltai was my craziest job by far.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was about to say, I feel like you had a lot worse time at Veltai than Chipotle, despite
I
all that.
the ups and downs, dude, was like the if I made a roller coaster, it'd be the world's most dangerous roller coaster, bro. Oh man, that all right, let's go.
Are you gonna go in on Veltai now?
I'll go in onto it, bro. This will give us a whole fucking podcast episode.
Yeah, we'll just title it Veltai.
Nah. Veltai is a tactical first responder gear manufacturer. That's a
Facture.
weird word.
Yeah, that is a
Manufacturer.
facturer.
um, they make basically the bulletproof vests or the um, first aid kits that you see uh, medical teams wearing or using, or they make tourniquets and give them to like the army and the navy and shit, for the wounds that you have to use a tourniquet on.
Mm-hmm.
um, and just stuff like that. And like they have like people sew uh, everything together, and it's all like handmade. And I worked the the big machines like in the back of the warehouse
Mm-hmm.
uh that like would roll out the fabric and cut the fabric into the shapes that the sewers needed and shit. Which was really cool. I learned CAD programming from that, without having to go to college. Uh, which they probably don't even realize how valuable of a thing that was
Yeah.
for me. um, but it's cool with me, dude. I was like, dude, this is awesome, and really easy, surprisingly easy. Um, but it was a very small company owned by one dude who was like in his late 50s, maybe late 60s. He was a fucking asshole. Uh, but not all the time, but most of the time. You know what I mean?
Like most
um,
people.
and I worked there from around 18 to like 21, I think.
Wow, that's a long fucking time.
And it was a long time, and it was a long time of my early uh, teenage life. Like just out of graduation, I just stopped working at Dollar Tree. I stopped working at Dollar Tree to work at Veltai actually because I was like, the money was going to be way better.
Yeah.
And um,
Oh fuck
it
no.
was a full time job from 7:30 to 4, I think, and that was Monday through Friday. And man, I was not ready for that. uh, that started kicking my ass immediately, but once I got used to like doing the job and shit, it was all good. And the first, I want to say the first year there was really fine. Honestly, it was really good. Um, I got along. We mainly worked with old people, um, old like ladies that would sew,
Uh huh.
and then the only young folks. I was the youngest person there always. I was always the youngest person there. Um, and next up would be this guy Seth, who I think was 24 or 25, and then after that there were two 26-year-olds there, and after that everyone else was like above the age of 36. Um, and Seth was a fucking Seth was an insane person, dude. Working with him was crazy because at first I was like, this guy's pretty cool, and then it turned out he was pretty misogynistic. Um, he was really, really not good at handling his anger. Uh, and that's ultimately what got him fired. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm sensing a theme
um,
here.
a theme.
Yeah, anger.
I mean, dude, people when people start getting mad at their jobs, it usually is not going to end well. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything get resolved when it comes to someone's anger issues. Um, but yeah, he would snap at like anything, dude. Like, I remember one time we had these things called tackers, and they're like super sewers basically. Where like you press the pedal and it does one like huge stitch,
Hmm.
and it's just really durable and doesn't break apart easily. And fucking he like hit his knee on a part of it, and probably not even that fucking hard, right?
Yeah.
And was just in the whole room with all these old ladies in there, and I think, oh yeah, and our boss was in the room because sometimes he would help sew, but that was fucking rare for him. Um, even on days we really needed it, and
Yeah.
he like hit his knee. And just in the whole shop, all you hear is "son of a fucking cock sucker," and the everyone stops, all the machines fucking stop, and he's just like looking at all of us, and he just starts laughing like it's no big deal, and our boss had to go over there and like talk to him about it. But
Yeah.
Steve was so, dude, his like ability to talk to people was terrible. He when it first happened, he didn't even get up. He
Yeah.
stayed at the thing, and he from across the fucking warehouse just goes, you alright over there, buddy?" And I was like, dude, no. Like, you need to take that guy to your office and fucking say some shit to him because that wasn't good. And then, so I don't know if he ever did or not, but then a few days later, um, this one lady who worked there, her name's Cheryl, was the floor manager for the floor was like where the sewers were. That was what like their area was called. So
Hmm.
she was in charge of those guys, and she was terrible. She was fucking awful. Uh, she was a big fucking bitch. um, sometimes she could be sweet, like an old lady, I guess would be.
Uh-huh.
But 9 times out of 10, she was just being a huge fucking asshole. Uh, and it always felt like there was no reason behind it at all. Um, and so her and him naturally didn't start getting along because of the way. Oh, it all started one. Well, so she never liked him because of the anger stuff, right? But then I totally forgot about this. Once, um, this is probably the best display of this man's anger issues right here.
Hmm.
He opened up the fridge, right? We had a nice little kitchen area with a fridge and a microwave and shit,
Yeah.
and everyone kept their stuff in there. And well, I guess someone didn't put a soda can away right once, and he opened the fridge door and it fell out onto his foot. He called it a cunt, um, loudly and like during lunchtime while everyone was in the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
Uh, loudly said, "Oh, you fucking cunt," and picked it up and then threw it away in the trash can.
Yeah.
Well, uh, Cheryl hates that word. Apparently, we all found out that that is her least favorite word in the entire world, and he got written up for it. Um, which we had just hired a new girl named Ashley who was 30 something, 31, 32. She was super cool. Um, one of the coolest people I worked with there. She was really into like old like punk rock and shit like that, and I we
Mhm.
got along really well because of that. Um, well, he started blaming her for it. Like after he got written up, he walked out and walked up to me and he was like, "I got fucking written up, man. Could you believe that shit?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can."
Yeah.
Um, and he was like, "Well, either way, I mean, I don't think I should have gotten written up." And I didn't say I was like I wasn't bothering. I was like, "Whatever." And he was like, "I bet I know who it was. That fucking new cunt Ashley." And I was like, "Dude,
Whoa.
stop." I was like, "You just got written up for that." And he was like, "I don't care. I hope that fucking cunt dies, bro." And I was like,
Whoa.
"Dude." I was like, dude, you can't fucking say stuff like that, man. And he was like, whatever, man, we're cool. It doesn't matter. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I guess. And so, I guess we're cool. And so, and so, but it wasn't her. It was Cheryl. Which we had found out somehow, some because the gossip just never stops, and no matter what job you have,
Yeah.
and that place was so rumors were spreading like crazy all the time. But the thing about him getting written up by Cheryl happened, and was everyone was talking about it. And so he found out that it was her. And so they started not getting along really, really badly.
Mhm.
And um, there was a moment when we had expanded our warehouse to a empty building that was in the lot behind us. We purchased that building and set it as like a second operations, basically.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was like one of the moments when I was like, oh shit, Valtime might be getting serious, like we're actually growing. Um and we moved in over there, and that was when I started getting those roles, you know what I mean? Like where I would be in charge.
Mhm.
And so I was working over there by myself pretty much all the time. And one day I was sitting, this was after we had been moving stuff like out of a trailer into the building, into the new building. I was sitting on top of this, which I was doing by myself because the whole time I didn't know this, but the whole time I was moving stuff out of the trailer by myself, they were like going off on each other in the other building. So I can't talk about that because I wasn't there, so I don't really know what happened.
Mhm.
What led up to what I saw, but I had just finished moving this like huge fucking desk off of the trailer by myself after I was trying to call people. We had walkie talkies that reached from my building to the next one, and I was trying to call people on the fucking walkie talkies. I was like, "Hey, I really need help getting this desk out of this fucking trailer, or like I'm gonna get hurt."
Mhm.
And no one was answering, and I didn't feel like walking across to the next building, so I was like, whatever, fuck it. And I moved this fucking huge ass desk out of this trailer, and I finally got it out, and I was just sitting on top of it, like the garage door open, like sitting on top of it, like staring out into the world,
Mhm.
and just taking a break, I guess. And fucking out of nowhere, dude, the door to the other building opens, like the back door opens, and all I hear is "you're a fucking giant bitch," like
Oh
scream. and
shit.
and the, it wasn't like it wasn't a long distance between the buildings, but it was like enough to be like he had to have said it pretty loud.
Yeah.
um and I was like, oh dude, what? And then there he goes, like fucking flying out of the door, like like rage. He wasn't running, but he was walking, and he was pissed, and he was like shouting some stuff. And right behind him is Cheryl, who's chasing after him and yelling at him. And then after her is our HR rep. And and
Jesus.
I was just like sitting there watching, and like he turns around in the middle of the parking lot and like screamed at me. He was like, "You need to get the fuck away from me right now, motherfucker!" And I was like,
God
"Whoa!"
damn.
I didn't know what to do because I think I was 19, and I was just sitting there and I was like, "Holy shit, this is crazy!"
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, I've never seen anything like this." and and he like rushes past me. He doesn't say anything, and he goes like into the building and gets like his book bag because I guess he'd been in there earlier, and then he walks past me again with it and was as he was walking through the parking lot, I think Cheryl was still out there, and Kim, our HR rep, had come into the garage with me and started like making jokes about what had happened,
Yeah.
which is funny. She like came up to me and I was like, "What's going on?" And she was like, "Oh, Seth being a fucking piece of shit again." And I was and I was like, "Whoa, what?" And and then he came back out into the parking lot, or like into the like in between area between the buildings, and like told Cheryl she was a bitch and like to go fuck herself, and she was like, "You're fired. I'm never seeing you in this place again." And he was like, "Yeah, don't bet on not seeing me around here again." And I was
Uh-oh.
like, "Oh shit, what?"
Yeah.
And
Not
so
going to
no
work for the
fucking
next couple
shit.
days.
No fucking shit. After he left, I had to fucking be like a witness report to tell them that he had said that, because we had to have fucking cops at the building the next day.
Jesus.
Um, with no, because that's a serious threat, because we work with guns and he has guns.
Yeah.
Almost everyone that worked there had a gun except for me, and that, so you can't say something like that and expect to just like get off easy. And so that shit was fucking crazy. Um, that was definitely one of the more crazy times there. Um, he didn't come back, but he did come to visit like once or twice, after that.
Uh-huh.
And it was always like unexpectedly he would just show up, and nobody wanted him to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted him to come visit, but he would come visit and act like nothing had happened, basically, and like chum it up with us.
That's very
And
strange.
yeah, it was terrible. I hated that shit. Um, yeah, that guy was not a cool dude. But then it's like everyone I worked with there turned out to be some level of insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone turned out to be some kind of crazy. Um, my my like favorite times working there was when I had met Dom and I had become friends with Dom, um, who was 25, I think, when I started working there. He had been working there before me, and when there were only like four people at the fucking job apparently.
Uh-huh.
And the company, it was before the company had gotten bought by a bigger company and basically given them money to keep being a business. um, and so apparently they were struggling really hard and shit, but he was working there the whole time and whatever. Um, and he was a suit like he was cool, man. He was into video games and anime, and at that job, that was like a beacon of hope for me,
Yeah.
because I was like, damn, I thought I was gonna be having to fucking talk to all these old people about like
The
sitcom
weather.
shows and shit, like, um, he he was cool. He was a Gundam builder too,
Oh, that's cool.
which we were able to talk about Gundams and shit like that. And so him and I got along really well, and his sense of humor matched mine, uh, which helped that job. Like every day went by so fucking fast. As long as if he called out, the day sucked.
Yeah.
And he would just do some fucking wild shit sometimes, bro. Like some of the funniest shit that you could even think would happen at a job like that. We had a scissor lift, right?
Yeah.
Because we were building a wall between the sewer's floor and the warehouse floor. Um, because the machine, we had gotten a new machine for cutting material, and it was loud as fuck, and all the sewers were complaining about it hurting their ears, and so we were making a wall with like insulation and shit in between the
Mm.
rooms, and it was like it was a couple feet high at this point, and I heard the scissor lift turn on, and I didn't know who was on it, but I knew that like they were taking a break from being on the wall that day,
Mm.
and fucking I don't know how he did this and how no one else noticed, but the scissor lift starts rising up, right, like up above the wall,
Uh-huh.
and I see the top of Dom's head and his hand, and he's doing a fucking Nazi salute as the fucking as the scissor lift is like rising up above the wall.
What the
Dude, and
fuck?
I was like the only person looking at him, and I started laughing so fucking hard, dude. And he started laughing so hard that the scissor lift started shaking. And like, dude, I thought he was gonna fall. Oh man, that shit was so funny. He was crazy. He would do so much crazy, like just wild shit out of nowhere. Um, One time during that same time, like we had this installation like in packages, in like big stacks in the back room,
Mm-hmm.
and him and I would take our knives and we would have knife throwing contests with them.
Too much.
And like our boss would come and be like, "Why are all these holes like in the installation?" We'd be like, "I don't know." And we'd blame it on somebody else. It's funny. Um, he was a great guy, man. He was a great guy. Um, and then let's see what else. There's so much. Um, I would drink on that job sometimes too, but that was because the older guys there would have coffee and then they would put whiskey in their coffee, and they would ask me if I wanted some, and I'd be like, I don't know. And they'd be like, you don't know, and then they'd put whiskey in my coffee, and I'd be like, oh wow, this is good. After struggling to get it down.
Yeah. How old were
And
you?
then so 18,
They're under
19.
arrest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll name them all right now. Nah. And then the worst part about the job was the fact that I had to work with all these people that were like involved with the military or the navy or the police, stuff like that, because not only do I not like those things, they're all assholes, all of them. They're all some level of a fucking douchebag, and it sucked, dude. It's really sucked working with people like that were so like they were like jarheads, man,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just so annoying. And they were all gun nuts too, and I'm like, guns are okay, but I'm not into them. I don't know a lot about them, but also I hadn't been around guns. I hadn't seen a fucking gun uh, in real life until I had that job, and so they kind of made me
Really?
uncomfortable. They made me a little nervous, and
Weird.
they would not. They'd be like, "Come on, man, hold the gun." They'd be like, "Feel that weight in your hand, bro." And I'm like, dude, it was weird. That job really like for those 3 years were weird, man. Um, because I felt like I should have been out doing stuff more, like as a teenager, who
Yeah.
had just graduated. Um, and then like I feel like I just grew up really fast in that job. Um, Having to deal with that stuff, and then having to see like what these adults' lives were like, also.
Yeah.
Um, because they were drinking on the job, and I was like, "That's crazy, dude." I was like, "You guys are like getting drunk on the job. You're drinking liquor. Um, you're drinking liquor. You're like fucking talking about how shitty your lives are all the time. Like that shit sucked for me, and that was kind of cool though because now I did definitely like made the decision that my life wasn't gonna be like that.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm gonna do what I can to make sure that I don't ever fucking have to act like these people. um, and I hope I'm on that path still. I fucking feel like I am at least. Um, and
Only time will tell.
and being after so Dom passed away in a motorcycle accident while I was working there,
Oh, I forgot
and
about that.
that was easily one of the worst times of my life because him and I were definitely really close, and I got that text message in like an hour before I had to go to work uh on a Monday. And so like that was I woke up and read a text message from one of our coworkers that they had gone out on a bike ride with him and watched him crash, and I was like, dude, what? And it didn't like register fully with me. Like I had just woken up and I was like, dude, what the fuck? I was like, that's crazy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to work, and like they called us all around like the table to talk about it, And before they like start, they were like, we got some really sad news today. And I got up out of my chair and I just left and went like to the back of the warehouse because I was like, I had already known, and by that time I was finally, it was like realizing that it was like real.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I went back to the warehouse and fucking just didn't even listen. And they like came back and I was back there crying, and fucking um the only time that Cheryl was ever like really nice to me, she like came up behind me and like gave me a hug, and then she was like, "Hey, you can take the day off today." And I was like, thanks. And then she gave me a ride home. Um which was really cool of her and like the whole warehouse to let me do that because they all knew how good of friends that we were.
Uh-huh.
Um and so that was a really cool time. But after that, and I've been thinking about this, I think that working at Veltai, where I at like in that place where him and I had gotten to know each other and like had become friends,
Mm-hmm.
was not a good place for me to work anymore.
Yeah.
Um because I thought about it all the time there after that. It was kind of haunting, dude. It was really, I don't think I've ever talked about it like too much, but it really was super depressing, dude. Um because he was a really cheerful guy and he brought a lot of cheerful energy into that place.
Mm-hmm.
And that was definitely, without a doubt, when things started to go way fucking downhill at that job because I got depressed and didn't know how to handle that. Um, because I don't talk to people about shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and I don't know, I guess I started taking it out on them like subconsciously. Um, just like being not good at my job anymore and calling out or like showing up late or obviously just clearly not giving a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which was, really, I'll admit, really not fair to everyone else too, because it wasn't like it hadn't affected them.
Yeah.
Um, and then this Steve was out of town. He was like on vacation. Not too long after we had gone to Dom's funeral, he went on vacation, and two of Dom's friends, who they had known Dom longer than I had, they had brought him to the job
Mm-hmm.
before I got there. And fucking they basically assumed that they were in charge after Steve left, which was insane. That was crazy. They just started like making demands and giving orders basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also getting on my nerves because I was just like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, what do you guys think you're fucking doing?
Yeah.
Um, so that combined with how upset I was not mixing well, like in within me. And one day they brought me into the office, and this is also something that blew my mind. I walked in, they called me into Steve's office. So while he was gone on vacation, they called me into his office where one of them was sitting in his chair, like, at his desk.
Mm-hmm.
And um, basically, without saying anything, handed me a write-up slip, um, and told me that I was uh, fuck, what was it? Oh, they told me it was something about my work efficiency, and I grabbed it and I was like, "What is this right now?" Like, I was like, "What are you guys trying to do?" And they were like, "What do you mean? We're writing you up because of the way you've been lately." And they like tried to say like it was, like nothing personal and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in there and I was like, "Dude, what do you guys fucking think you're doing sitting at Steve's desk trying to tell me that I'm getting written up and that I need to go home for the day?"
Yeah.
Um and they were
Yeah.
like and they were like, "Excuse me?" And I was like, "I want to know what you guys think you're doing right now because I don't agree with it and I'm not going to sign this write up." And then things got heated because this was Dom's friend Steph and Joe, right? Steph and Joe were married. Um and Joe did not work there for like for a while I was there. He got a job because he was unemployed, and basically Stephanie begged Steve to let him work there. She probably didn't even have to. He was such a fucking pussover that she probably just asked, and he said yes. But that's extreme uh, conflict of interest to have those two working together. Um, because they're in a relationship, you know, and so them being in there like that was not cool with me. But Joe had anger issues too. He served. He's a veteran. He served in the army, I think,
Uh-huh.
and had um, like PTSD and shit and like anger issues. Well, he started getting mad at me for the way that I was like like talking to them about like what they were doing and shit in Steve's office. And then finally I like took the write up, and I think I'm pretty sure I signed it, but I said I signed it. I just wrote "fuck you" on it. Um, and then I said, "Fine, you guys want me to leave for the day so fucking bad. I don't want to be here anyways." And then I left their office, or I left his office, and like I stormed through the fucking the floor like where all the sewers were, and as I was walking through, you know how I get when I'm mad, like I talk shit to myself.
Yeah.
I was walking through the floor and I was like, stupid motherfuckers think they fucking run the show around here, huh? And just like shit like that. And so of course they heard about that while I was walking through,
Uh-huh.
um, because they probably immediately told them the things I was saying.
Yeah.
Um, and so by the time I went into the back and came back, like I think I went back into the back to get like my drink out of the fridge or some shit, something stupid that I didn't really need to go get. Um, and so I went back, and then when I came back and like turned around, like Joe was there and was like, "Oz, if we're gonna have any problems, you know, we're gonna have to ask you not to come back to work for a few days." And then I was like, "Yeah, well, you'll be lucky if I come back tomorrow, then, motherfucker." As I like, on the way out, and when I got into the parking lot, I was like, it all kind of like hit me, I guess, and I
Hmm.
was like, man, I was like, fuck this place, like in the middle of the parking lot. Because it all just was building up, dude, and then that was like a extreme moment for me. And I was just like, dude, the things that were happening, they were blowing my mind, and oh man, that was so bad. And I did go back the next day and bullshit in like an apology because they needed an apology from me. Um,
Yeah.
and so of course I was still terribly upset, but I bullshitted them in an apology and just kept working. And then I watched. After that, I just kept my mouth shut and just did my job. Um, but I shut everybody out after that, dude. I was like, I totally just shut down, and because before that, Joe and I were like friends too. Like we would hang out sometimes, or like we would
Hmm.
talk. Like he was cool. Um, but after that, I started realizing how just not cool he actually was. Because he was actually not that great of a person, you know.
Hmm.
And him and his wife seemed to be doing in that company, like weaseling their way up to the tippy top of the company, you know, was not cool with me, and how I was getting, you know, shelled out even though I was doing so much work. Because after Dom had passed away, I was the only person in the warehouse doing his job, my job, and some other stuff, you know, on top of that. Um, and not getting paid for it because I wasn't getting uh, pay raises anymore
Uh-huh.
because I was being told that they couldn't afford pay raises while Joe and Steph were getting paid more than anyone there.
Oh, that's
Um,
bullshit.
oh yeah, yeah, dude. Once I started, I should have called the BBB while I was working there, honestly, because I started finding out that everyone had different pays based on pretty much who Steve liked the most.
What?
Um, yeah, and like who he like thought needed it, because people would tell him that they were like poor and that they needed money, and so he would give them raises and shit. Um, which I definitely should have called the BBB, but I didn't know at the time about stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but and so like there was stuff like that going on, and so me and Joe really started not liking each other, and I started taking notes about him. Whenever he would have anger issues and like start slipping up and like while out, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so I would take notes and like write down what happened, like what he got angry about, and eventually I got him suspended. from work. Um, because but like I wasn't the only person there because there were other people there that were confused as to why he still worked there when he got so mad at things. Because he was like Seth but on another level,
Hmm.
and he still had his job. And there were some people that were scared of like what he might do, one day because of how mad he would get at things. Like, dude, he would like
Really?
slam the doors so hard like the fucking walls would shake, man. And I one time was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you acting like this right now? And he would just tell me to fuck off and like not to get in, not to worry about it and shit. And I'd be like, dude, man, I don't know if how I can do this. And it was one of those things where I would also go and talk to my parents about it, and they'd be like, well, you need the job, and I'm like, dude, well, I also need to worry about my safety because
Yeah, for
this
real.
place is getting out of control. And I mean, really, dude. After Dom had passed away, the job started turning into like a nightmare. You know, um, it was crazy. It was like walking into hell every morning. And then um, we had hired this guy. I can't remember. I think his name was Andrew, I believe. Um, and I think his last name was Slicer. No, that was his he was another military guy, of course. And so I think they called him Slicer in military or some shit like that.
Hmm.
He was a cool dude. Um, but he did not give a fuck about the job really. Um, he learned like how to do the job, and then he learned how to do the job without exerting the most amount of energy as possible.
That's what I'm talking about.
Excuse me. You should cut that. And and he left after not a very long time. He saw that the job sucked. He saw that because him and Joe were like kind of buddies. I think they had served together, and he saw that Joe was not super cool. Also, and then also he was not super cool. He would get pretty mad at stuff sometimes too. Um, for the most part, he was all right though. He never like caused issues, which was good. Um, but he immediately decided that he didn't like working there, so he learned. He went and got driving the special driver's license you need to drive big rigs. Uh, and was taking those classes on like learning how to drive a big rig while he was working with us at the same time. And then after he had like got the license, he told us that he did. And he was like, "Yeah, so I got a job as a truck driver, and I'll be leaving in a couple weeks." I was like, "Dude, fuck." That came out of nowhere. I was like, "Jesus Christ." Um, and then after that, I was alone again in the warehouse because then Joe was not allowed to work. They made him work from home, um, which still bullshit, dude. He still never like he didn't get fired for all the things like that he said or like did or like broke out of anger.
Hmm.
um, but they made him work from home, and so I was alone all the time. Uh, and then of course Joe would awkwardly randomly come into work sometimes and just like be there unexpectedly, and that was always fucking weird for me, bro, because he'd come and be like, "Yo, man," like acting like we're still friends. Um, which was always the worst part too, because I felt like I had made it painfully clear to everyone that I wasn't friends with anyone there anymore, and that I was just there working, like officially. And he would just come in and be like, "Yo, dude, what's up?" And I'd be like, "Oh, fucking great." um, and so that sucked. And then we hired this dude. His name is Len, and this dude was super cool, bro. Um, he I don't know how old he was. He might have been 30. Um, but he was a cool guy. He was very passionate about being like a public speaker and like say like believing that words could like change people and shit. You know what I mean? Like Martin Luther King stuff like that. He was very into like free speakers and shit, free thinkers. I mean, and I thought that was really cool, and so we got along talking to each other about stuff like that, like learning more about it together and shit. And he I told him like all about Joe and like the way that he was, before he had met him. And so he was already not into the idea of that guy being there. And so the first time they met, I was kind of worried because I just wasn't sure how it was going to go because Len was also pretty stubborn,
Mm-hmm.
um, like in the way like he did things and stuff like that. And so of course I was like, all right, dude, Joe is going to be here later today, and I was the manager at this point, like officially like titled, um, but not officially paid for the manager position. And so I was like, dude, Joe is gonna be here today. Please just promise me, like, that you're just gonna be cool about it. Like, don't fucking challenge him. Don't do anything out of pocket. And so he did. Like, he pretended to get along with him the whole time. And then after he left, he was just like, dude, that guy's a fucking douche. Like, yeah, yeah, he is, man. And then he worked there for a couple months, and during that time, I told him that he needed to find another job as soon as he could, and that he needed to get out of Veltai fast, because of how bad it was. And telling him like how long I had been there and the way they had treated me and finessed me with everything that everyone had been through together at that place. And he was like, dude, me getting out of here? He's like, you need to get out of here, man. He was like, what the fuck are you still doing here? And I was like, well, I need this job. Like, I need the money, man. And he was like, then find another job with money, bro, because this place is killing you. And seriously, he was like, he really helped get me out. That like for like probably almost 2 years, after Dom had passed out, like let's just say it was 1 year, then Dom passed, and then like a year and a half, I was like that until Len had started working there. He really helped me get out of that like shitty mind state that I was in with the job and like hating it and hating everyone there and stuff like that. And so while it didn't wash away completely, I had gotten into like a better state and place. And him telling me that I needed to get out of there and find a better job because of what it was doing to me pushed me to finally give them my 2 weeks and go work at Chipotle. Because I had already been thinking about it because Parker told me that I should go work with him because the money was okay and it wasn't Veltai. And I just couldn't do it because I wanted to work at Veltai. Like I didn't want to, but for some reason I just couldn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then Len, like really really gave me the push to be adamant about leaving, and I'm really grateful to him for that because definitely my life has changed. Like immediately it started changing. I was like felt so much better. I felt better once I handed my 2 weeks in. Honestly, once I gave like my boss my 2 weeks and he read it and looked at me and was like, "Are you serious?" That moment, I was like, "Dude, I feel good."
Yeah,
Because dude, he was mad. He was not happy that I put my 2 weeks in. He was really fucking mad. Uh,
that's
and
weird.
he was like, I wish well, dude, I was really good at my job because I'd been there for so long. I knew the ins and outs of everything, and he knew that I was supposed to be teaching Len everything that I knew and that I wasn't. Um, because I didn't want Len to stay there, also. And so I didn't teach him everything so that he wouldn't be able to do everything on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which was like I didn't, like I taught him vitals, but there were certain things that like if he didn't know how to do it, he was going to have to look it up, or he was going to be stuck on it for a while. And I told him, I was like, dude, I don't want to teach you everything because I don't want you to get comfortable here the way I did, because that's exactly the conversation that we were having. And so he understood, and I'm pretty sure he was looking for a job, another job by the time I was leaving too. Um, but yeah, man, Steve was not happy. He was like, I really wish you were staying. And I was like, well, you're not going to offer me more money to stay, though, are you? And then we didn't. We just kind of looked at each other for a while, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to work for the last 2 weeks. And then I didn't show up for the last 2 days because I just said fuck it, but I didn't care.
Yeah, by then it's already over.
it was over, and I fucking no called no showed, and Len had texted me and he was like, "Hey man, you didn't come to work today. Are you not coming back?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably not." And he was like, "LOL, man, that's what they said." And I was like, "Yeah, you can tell him I said this." And then I sent him a picture of my middle finger. uh, yeah, that shit was
That's
funny. I
funny.
haven't heard from him in a long time. I don't know if he's doing well or not. Yeah, that job was crazy, dude. That was a good like what 30 minutes.
It was a
Oh
little bit
man,
longer than that.
yeah, that job, man. There's so much stuff going on there, and there were so many people there. Like, can you get out of my way, dude? There's this
You
dude
get out of
running
my
into
way,
me.
bitch.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, it is you. um, there's just so many people there with so many problems.
I've
It
never
was, it
been in
was
a
crazy.
toxic work environment like that before.
That was definitely like the most toxic work environment because people would talk shit about each other all the time, and just yeah, it was bad.
Hey, do you know where those quest things that you can pick up?
No,
Oh,
you can get quests from NPCs.
yeah, like the bounties is what I was talking about. I was trying to find where they were.
We have to go to the tower. Let's go to orbit.
No, I already have. Wait, wait, no, 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 no. All right,
Are you sure?
I have some right now that I'm working on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
I'll
still
just follow
need
you around then.
public event and some kills.
Um,
Where?
so then I worked at Target after Chipotle, and you worked at Target once too.
Once upon a time. Yeah.
And I'm sure we can both agree that those are not fun jobs.
Well, I don't think Target was really that bad, honestly.
No.
No, not compared to what you just told me.
Well, yeah, of course. Your Target was pretty good though, from what I heard from Drake and you. That the people that worked there weren't bad.
Yeah. Did you have any problems at Target, Drake?
Dude, I hated that place.
You hated it? I didn't think it was that bad.
Once you left,
Oh yeah, well I can see.
um,
What was your experience like, Austin, at Target? Was it pretty easy?
Um, it wasn't easy, but it also wasn't the worst. It was like it was like
Hmm.
um, I was fucking. They have like they have new names for everything now because they're a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Um, I was a department leader for the seasonal department.
What?
Excuse me, I'm taking a sip of my sparkling ice pink grapefruit
That's
naturally
okay.
flavored sparkling water. Not sponsored. Um, for the seasonal department, and it didn't even mean you were actually in charge. You weren't in charge of shit.
Yeah.
And
You were in charge of doing your job.
yeah, it was fucking bullshit. It's super misleading title because I remember that they said that that's what they wanted to hire me for, like in the interview, and they gave me the job, and I like went home and told them I was like, dude, they want me to be seasonal department leader, and I was like, that's crazy, and my mom was like, that's so good, and then I started the job, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm stocking shelves right now.
Yeah.
um, which is pretty much all it was. Is like they would get their shipments in the morning uh, into the warehouse. They would unload the shipments and they would unload the boxes into specifically numbered like sections. And seasonal was whatever was like lot number whatever, right? And they'd load it onto a flat or a U boat, and I would go get it, take it out to seasonal, and stock the fucking shelves. And then you'd come back, and there'd be another one in the lot waiting for you, and that was what you did. Um, but for some reason, seasonal didn't work the way the other departments did.
Hmm.
Because seasonal only got 3.5 to 4.5 hours shifts, while everyone else got like full like 7 hour, 8 hour shifts.
Dude, what? That fucking sucks.
Um, or like they would get shifts where they came in at like early in the morning, like before the store opened, and then stay till like midday, like 12 or something, and leave. Um, but seasonal got the least amount of hours for some reason, and they would always get mad at me for not getting a lot of product out, or as much product as everyone else was getting out like during their shifts. And It was, dude. We were like, I've had arguments with some of the team leads there, a few times about like, I don't have enough time to get this shit out. And they're like, well, how do you not have enough time? Everyone else is getting all their stuff out. I'm like, are you fucking out of your? I'm like, dude, because I don't have the same amount of. I'm not here the same amount of time that they are. And
Yeah.
also, seasonal was like a hellhole always, like all the time. No matter how hard I worked at trying to keep seasonal looking good, um, customers fucking ruined that department, that section of the store.
Yeah, it's because it's seasonal.
Yeah, it's season. It's all cheap
A
bullshit,
bunch of shit
and
people want.
like Christmas time, um, Christmas and like specific holidays where we had to like set the stuff up was really bad because people would just always be coming in, touching shit, putting it where it wasn't supposed to be,
Hmm.
and yeah, and your team lead would just get mad at you for it, and like, dude, I don't know why you're fucking getting pissed off right now. Like, I don't know what you wanted me to do about all these people that are fucking with the shit. And then I usually only had problems with this guy named Andrew, who was a super douche. Um, who he would just grill me like that all the time though. No matter what, sometimes you have to cover another section if they needed you to, and I needed
Uh,
hours, so I would take them. And he would just be like, "You're not getting your shit done, dude." And it'd be like the first time I had worked in that department, to cover
yeah.
someone's shift. And he was such a fucking asshole for no reason. His skin was always red and tight. He looked like a hot dog. He looked like a walking hot dog, bro. And then, but it was cool, and like, Ben worked there with me, and that was awesome. As awesome as it could be.
Yeah.
um, but if I would like go say hi to Ben, and that guy would come up and be like, "Oh, I don't need you here talking to your fucking buddies. I know you guys are BFFs, but you got a job to do." And I'd be like, "Dude, seriously?" I was talking to Ben for like 1 second, and then
Yeah.
one day I told him. One day I was like, "Dude, how about this? If you see me talking to Ben at work, assume we're talking about work shit because at work we're coworkers and
Yeah.
outside we're friends." And he was like, well, I guess it just doesn't look that way. And I was like, well, make sure you start thinking of it that way or something like that. I didn't take shit from any of those people at Target. I was like, bro, this is Target. Like, I was like, you're taking your job too seriously, and I'm chilling. So, yeah, that sucked. But I got along really well with a lot of the ladies, which was cool for me. You know, um, they all thought I was pretty cool, and so they would help me out with my job and shit like that. And then I don't know, I didn't have any problems with anyone. There's one kid who worked there. He's probably the same age as me. Um, was like we said earlier, like the job like that, like you're not there to make friends.
Yeah.
And so I didn't talk to a lot of people, and I guess they all did. There was like a break room that I didn't even know about for like a few months while I was working there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, for real. I didn't even know there was like a break room where some of them were hanging out
Are you
at.
talking about a break room
Um,
in general, or was it like an extra break room?
no, it was just a break room in general. No one had ever told me there was a break room at that Target.
What? You didn't
Um,
get a tour or anything?
not that there, dude. There was a tour. They did not take us to a break room, bro. I'm telling you, it
That's
was weird.
weird.
Yeah, I always just went up to the Starbucks at the front and like just sat down at a chair and a table for like 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes during a break. Um, but yeah, and I guess like they were all like buddies at that Target because they had all been working there for a long time, and they decided that this one dude in electronics was gonna quote excuse me quote unquote prank me um, by bending over in front of the TVs while I was walking by one day and looking back over his shoulder at me and saying, "Hey Austin, do you think I'm pretty?" And I was like, I looked at him and I was like, "No, fuck off," and I kept walking. And then they apparently all were talking about how my reaction to that was amazing, um, because the next day they showed me where the break room
That's funny.
was. Yeah, that place. And then there was this one dude who worked there
Oh, that's fucked up.
who looked like he looked like someone that would have been like my friend immediately,
Uh huh.
like covered in tattoos. He had like gauges and and looked like he listened to the same type of music as me and shit like that. No, he listened to pop punk and was like almost 30 and still wore like beanies and shit like at work. Which there's nothing wrong with wearing a beanie, but you know the way a pop punk kid wears his beanie, bro.
Like
It's
off his
like
head.
yeah, like barely even on his fucking dome. Um and like at work, I was like, "What are you doing, bro?" um and he was a fucking douche, bro. He was such a douchebag, man. He's one of those guys where he would like ask you a question, right? And then somehow you would say like two words and somehow he'd be talking and everything would be about him all of a sudden. Um,
What?
he sucked, dude. He was not cool. He was not cool at all. I found out he was like cheating on his girlfriend and shit recently too. So
Oh, you still know? Like talk to people who talk to him?
just Ben,
Oh
because
yeah,
of course
yeah.
Ben was his friend.
Oh, Ben was his friend?
Yeah, Ben thought he was a cool guy and didn't understand why I didn't like him. And then Ben is the one that told me about him cheating on his girlfriend and shit. He was like, "Yeah, he's such an asshole," and I was like, "Oh, so now you get it."
Yeah.
um, it's like I always knew like there was something up with that dude, just because I
Yeah.
thought he was a douche. um, but Target was okay. It was super. It was pretty tame. It was out of all the jobs probably the easiest. I liked setting up seasonal. I liked being in charge of like making seasonal look good. But I didn't like how often I had to do it. And like during my own shift, bro, like I would set up like the furniture to look nice, and then I'd come back and the cushions would be fucked up, and people, dude, when people would come to my seasonal department to sit down in the furniture and not like they weren't like, I have to, it's my job to walk up to them and ask them if they're thinking about buying something
Yeah.
that they're fucking sitting in, you know.
Yeah, no, they're just
And
looking.
yeah, no, and they're like, "Oh no, just I'm just sitting here chilling," and I'd be like, "Well, you can't do that. Like, customers are gonna they come here, and if they want to buy this, you can't be sitting in it." Um, well, no customer ever liked that,
Yeah, they never
obviously,
do.
because the customers that are taking their sweet time to sit down and get a load off in your section definitely aren't going to be the kind that'll take kindly to you asking them to leave, and that was I really had, of course, mainly issues with shitty customers.
Mhm.
Um, I had this one homeless dude who would come in and every day at the same fucking time would use any money that he had gotten to buy stuff from the cafe, and then go and sit and eat it in the fucking
And seasonal?
seasonal department, like in my furniture, getting crumbs everywhere and shit. Like,
Dude, that's
oh man,
annoying.
I hated that. And then he would fall asleep in the chair.
What?
Um, yeah, no, dude, it sucked. And I asked like security, like I was like, dude, can you guys get him out of here? Is there something you can do? Because seriously, every day he's here. And they were like, oh no, we can't ask him to leave because he buys stuff. And I was like, you're fucking shitting me, dude.
What?
Because he was a customer, so we couldn't ask him to leave. Was what they told me, and that was bullshit. That really made me upset. Because he would just like he would either sit down in the furniture or he would go to where like the stacked like plastic patio chairs were, and he would like take some of off the stack and like set them up so he could put his feet up and shit. And like this, this motherfucker just came in here to take a nap, bro.
Yeah.
This
Buy a
shit's
pack of gum so he
crazy.
could take a nap.
Yeah, no, seriously, he would walk back there sometimes with like a small like icy, and then he would leave it on the ground and it would melt because he would fall asleep. That dude is an asshole. Oh man, that job was okay though. It never was terrible.
Yeah.
I covered a cart shift there once, which was really bad. I covered it in the middle of summer and it was so hot,
Oh
dude.
yeah. I kind of miss doing cards, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
I
it
miss
was
that
chill, dude.
sound.
Every time I see people doing carts, they have like headphones in now and shit.
Yeah, I never listened to I mean, I did, but like not with headphones.
No? Oh yeah, you played it out of your like speaker and your phone.
Yeah, like I would
Yeah.
only listen to it at night too, like when no one was in the parking lot. Um,
um.
but yeah, it was kind of nice. It was relaxing when you're out in in the parking lot getting carts because no one's bothering you. You're just
Yeah,
kind of zoned in on doing one thing.
especially at night.
Hmm.
The shift I took was like from the middle of the day to the nighttime. It was a really long cart shift for some.
Yeah,
Oh,
we only
excuse me,
get
for
like
some
4 hours or 5 hours, something like that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
This one I think was 7, which is
Oof.
wild. And I had worked that day too. I'd worked my shift. Um,
Ooh, I
and I
love
had
doing that and hate doing that at the same time.
yeah, it was kind of nice, but at the same time, it was terrible because I fucking went from doing like stuff inside to going outside and like dripping sweat. This shit sucked. But it wasn't too bad, you know. You're just getting fucking shopping carts. It was just hot as fuck,
Yeah.
and but it got to like when it got to nighttime, yeah, dude, there was like no one there. Fucking, all I did was walk around outside looking for shopping carts. I knew I had already gotten them inside.
Oh
That
yeah,
shit
dude.
was, yeah,
Like the whole like second half of the shift is just biding your time,
yeah,
leaving some carts outside, and then at the last like
yeah,
30 minutes collecting everything else and packing up.
yeah. You're like, all right, there's some carts inside. I can go get probably.
Yeah, the day shifts were the worst because that's when you had to do fucking everything.
Yeah, because there were people there, bro.
It's like cafe, hey,
Damn,
come do
Target
cash
was
register.
packed.
I'm outside. Can you like leave me alone? Nah, we need you. Like, dude.
Yeah, no, that was why I told them I was like, I'll cover cart shifts, but I won't do cashier stuff. And they were like, I mean, I guess that's okay. I was really surprised that they said it was okay, but I think they just needed someone to do cards.
Uh-huh.
Because I was like, dude, I'm so uncomfortable working on cashiers because I already have to deal with customers all day, like in the seasonal department. But being cashier is different. You're locked into a place where you have to look at your customer face to. You know what I mean? You're like you're stuck right there, huh?
Yeah. Oh,
Did your dog just bark or something?
no, I was coughing.
Oh, I was like, what is that? It's a strange noise. Yeah, customers are the worst, dude. I always hated working any type of retail because of that. Like people that come into a fucking store like Target or Dollar Tree was really the worst because we got paid so fucking shittily and everything in there costs a fucking dollar and the
Yeah.
customers would act like they were so fucking high and mighty, bro.
I
God
remember one guy
damn,
said
man.
he got the wrong change, but like
Dude,
he seriously spent like 20 minutes fighting with me and the manager over like 3 cents or something like that.
dude, that's so. See, that's what I'm saying, dude.
It
Dollar
wasn't
Tree
even wrong.
customers were insane, man.
I wasn't even
God
wrong.
damn. Yeah, I bet. I
I
bet you
know
were.
math, bro.
I do maths good. Man, this one time, this lady was being a bitch about like the way I had bagged her stuff, and when I was like 18, being moody, you know, and I think it was towards the end of my shift, and I wanted to go, and this I like had rebagged it for her,
Mhm.
um, and after I rebagged it, she stood. She literally would not leave until I acknowledged that she had said thank you to me.
What?
um, she like so after I had rebagged her stuff for her after she'd made like a big deal about the way I'd done it the first time. I was
Uh-huh.
like, I bagged her stuff up and I threw it like into her shopping cart for her, and then I started ringing up the next person because I didn't even look at the lady after that. I like didn't look at her. I had a long line. I didn't need that shit, and I started ringing up the next person, and like immediately like switched my mood like on purpose. Like looked at the next customer and was like, "Hey, how are you doing today?" You know, and the lady behind me was like, "Excuse me." I said thank you, and I was like talking to the next customer already, like having a conversation with them. And
Uh-huh.
she was like, "Sir, I said thank you to you." And I looked at her and I was like, "Yeah, I think I heard you, but so what?" And then she just kind of stood there and she was like, "Where's your manager?" And without looking, I like pointed behind me because the manager's office was like right behind me.
Yeah.
And so I just like threw a thumb like over my shoulder, and then she went and like talked to the manager, and the manager was like, "Oh yeah, I'll talk to him after his shift," and she never did.
Yeah, they
Um,
never do.
because that was did you remember Tisha?
Yeah, dude, Tisha was the best.
Yeah,
I hated
she was
working if it
super
wasn't her.
cool. Yeah, she didn't give a fuck, dude, because she wanted what we wanted to get out. Um, and so she was like, I mean, do your job, and like, the soda machine, like, you know how you fill the soda machine before you end your shift.
Yeah.
She'd be like, I mean, you can get the cart of sodas, hook it up here, and then they'll put the sodas away in the morning, which is totally made so much sense to me that you did like the work of like getting the list of what sodas needed to be restocked,
Yeah.
and then you would put the sodas like that. You didn't even have to do that really. You just get the list, and then they could see it in the morning and go get the sodas themselves. But you could get the sodas and put them in the shopping cart and bring them up to the soda machine and like let them do it. You know, which I thought was nice. It's like I brought it up here for you.
That was
But
it.
because Dollar Tree had the opposite effect of Target, where Dollar Tree was really busy at night. Um, up until like probably the last 30 minutes, and then you didn't really have enough time to do shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there would definitely be customers in there like from all fucking night, dude, all night. To the point where you'd think it was almost impossible for that many people to be going to Dollar Tree.
Yeah. There was an absurd amount of people. Like
And like new people too. It's like, where are you guys coming from?
they came into town and they heard about the awesome Dollar Tree that we had.
Yeah. I did. I mean, I got a lot of compliments while I worked there, but that was because it was my first job and I was trying to work my best.
Hmm.
But then, like, obviously, when I was like semi into it, I was like, oh man, this actually kind of sucks. Man, Dollar Tree was something, dude. That uniform was always whack too, bro. Khakis and fucking green. No thanks.
More like tackies.
Yeah, fucking insert line from Bruno here.
Is there a Bruno line that has something to do with khakis?
I don't know. It's something to do with fashion.
Oh yeah. I forgot
Can
that's
you
what Bruno's
slide? You
about.
can slide.
Fashion.
Everyone forgets what Bruno's about because they're homophobes. Oh man.
Go
Um,
5. No, no,
I'm
no.
out of job experiences now, bro. That's all I have.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
everything at my job right now is fine.
yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of fucked up shit that you have to deal with cleaning bathrooms.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can definitely talk about the nasty, stupid, dumb things that we see.
Like people shitting on the back of the toilet somehow.
Or all over it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's I don't know if you've seen that. There's like a meme where like it's like a picture of a toilet covered in, or it's like an ad for a cleaner that can clean like anything, and like the toilet is like covered in poop. And
Hmm.
this dude is like, "Why is the toilet literally covered in shit?" Um but that's real, dude. I don't know if people know that, but there are some explosive asses out there in the world apparently.
It's because they eat bad.
Because I've seen some poop just all over a toilet in like ways that would make you just go, where was their butthole pointed, bro?
Yeah. Or like,
Like,
what did they eat to make their shit a
yeah,
paste?
no, for real. Like, man, this job, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. But
It's easy, so it's hard not
those
to
those days are
hate it.
like really,
When
definitely
they
those are the ones where like you walk in and I see it and I just go, what the fuck?
like why did
What?
this happen?
Why? How? Why me? Um, and sometimes it's hard to clean too, depending on how long it's been there. That sucks.
Yeah, yeah, that's the worst part.
It's all right, dude. This podcast is gonna launch, and we don't have to work shitty jobs anymore.
Yeah, that'd be nice, huh?
Dude, that'd be crazy. Um, we should say hi to our future selves that are successful and listening to this right now.
Future selves that have no money but somehow
Future
successful.
selves that are still working at the same job.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not gonna happen.
No, I only plan on being here for about another year.
Yeah, I got about 8 months left.
Nice.
gonna do my plan of 6 months, and
Oh yeah.
then I'm gonna spend 2 trying to find a job.
Who knows, bro? Who knows what a lot could happen in 6 months, man.
Yeah, could die.
If you and I like hit the grind, man,
Yeah, it'd be nice to do like
I
stuff.
don't know.
I'd
We
rather.
are really what?
I was gonna say I'd really rather do like Twitch stuff more than YouTube, but
Hmm.
um,
You got to do both though, bro. It's
yeah,
just that's how it is. But it's
cause
okay. We're already on the grind.
yeah, I really like Twitch because you can like sit there and talk to people and
And
hang out and
yeah,
play
the
video games.
community of Twitch is just so nice. And
Yeah,
you know, YouTube videos like you post them and then people comment and it's like, I guess that's cool.
yeah. I mean, you can kind of control your community on Twitch. Like you have some say over like what your community's based around, you know.
Yeah,
But on
yeah,
YouTube, like everybody watches YouTube, and you can't like
yeah. Your
stop
video
them
can go
from saying
anywhere.
stuff. You can't like
That's
be like
what.
that's
That's
not
all
what
I
I
hope,
want.
bro. If we
Hmm.
do get popular, I hope we have a good fan base.
I mean, that starts with you, man. You gotta cultivate the fan base.
That is true.
If people are doing shit you don't want them to do, like tell them, be like, hey, man, that's not what this is about, and
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna need you to calm down.
What are you doing here? Leave. No.
I mean, sometimes you gotta kick people out as much
If
as
you
it
have
sucks.
to, yeah. I mean, that's what I'll be on top of that shit on my Twitch once it starts blowing up for sure. Once I start getting more people on there, um, nobody's gonna be a fucking asshole on my Twitch stream.
I'm gonna let people be assholes, but like to a certain extent.
Uh, yeah, that's fair.
Cause you know I like shit talking. It's fun.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's like a pastime for me. Dude, we've been fighting these like same areas this whole time.
Yeah. Do you think we should go somewhere else?
Um, I was trying to finish this quest. I need
Oh,
to
I forgot you were doing that. That's
get it
okay. I
done.
mean, honestly, dude, this was a pretty good topic to talk about. So I think the gameplay's all right.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to jobs.
I'm surprised, man. I didn't know it was gonna be this good. This might be a good podcast.
It's because everybody works.
Be better than the last one.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
I mean, we're gonna have ups and downs, bro. We also didn't party hard as fuck last night.
No, didn't party at all, really.
No, just stayed up kind of late. Playing Minecraft, bro. What do you mean we didn't party?
I didn't even play it that much.
Yeah, I know. I got on last night and I was like, man, I'm pretty tired. And then you were like, I'm gonna go to bed. And I was like, sweet. I'm trying to figure, dude. I did this thing earlier where I clicked the right stick and I did like a weird, like a super finisher move. He's not doing it anymore.
Oh yeah, I saw that. There's a finisher. Oh, there is a map, by the way. You hold down the middle thing.
What the fuck? That's so weird. Because that's what I would think the map button is just pressing it.
Yeah.
But it's your ghost. Alright. Well, that was the sixth episode of the Scrambled Thoughts podcast. Talked about jobs, shitty experiences, a couple good things. I think we mostly just talked about the crazy and shitty. But, you know, it is what it is.
That's life.
Yeah. Jobs are shitty and crazy.
The worst part about living, probably.
The worst part about living. All right. This is the Scrambled Pots podcast. Fuck.